Hope everyone had a Merry Christmas. I'm feeling better. Thank you for asking. I still have a terrible appetite. My stomach hurts. I threw up at 2 a.m. In the morning of the 26th. I went the entire day without throwing up. I had gravy and turkey yesterday. I think I had the wrong thing to eat today. That upset my stomach. So I threw up this afternoon. I have no appetite, and I hope I feel better. That's why I've been out of the office, so to speak, for an extended time. So I wanted to get back at this again on the 26th, and then I was just sick yesterday, and I technically am still sick, but you know I had like terrible leg cramps. Like, I don't know how to describe it. It's like I got back from a 8-10 mile run, and then I just feel pain all across my legs, from my hamstrings to my calves. But that was me yesterday. My legs were just felt like muscle tightness, just extreme fatigue. So yeah, um, I feel I got it from my mom. I mean, she was sick. It's Christmas, and so uh, it was unavoidable. So hopefully, no one else got sick. Anyone else that was over from Christmas. But anyway, hopefully, I don't throw up or anything just for having a glass of water. But anyway, that's why if you're wondering, I had to do so, some last preparations for Christmas. So you lose sight of the task on hand. You get lost of your routine, your week to week routine, when things suggest getting ready for the holidays kind of just take away from that weekly routine. And the picks came very late for the NFL week. And last gift preparation is a very real thing. But everybody was happy with what they got. And with that being said, the game on Christmas was no surprise. It was a late gift from Santa. I'm not talking about Andy Reid. I'm talking about the real Santa Claus. You believe in Santa? Santa delivered for the Chiefs. He gave them home field in the Chiefs pursuing the three-peat, beat number 3, and have 3 weeks of rest. The Chiefs are geared for the three-peat because these starters now have 3 weeks off from football. They are off in the last week of the season. They are off in the wild card round. They don't have to play another game until how many days later do the Chiefs play another game? Because they obviously don't play on Sunday. So this is actually a very extended break that the Chiefs get. So how many days until they play again? I mean, that's a pretty long layover right there. You're talking about a full month without having to play a game, and these starters can suddenly get 100% healthy, and the Chiefs can just take their good time and get close to 100% health for the entire team, because they technically don't play on the upcoming Sunday of week 17. So the Chiefs don't have to, the starters don't have to play another game until 24 to 25 days. That's basically a full month without football. And of course, injuries are the key thing in NFL history that is reason why teams don't win back to back to back. because serious injuries have happened numerous times. Teams coming off back-to-backs trying to win that back-to-back two-back. But now how the schedule has shaped up and the Chiefs having nothing to play for in Week 18, the way the Chiefs schedule turned out was very favorable to allow them to be as healthy as can be come divisional round time. So you're really talking 3 weeks and a half because they played the early game. You hear the news about Patrick Mahomes. Oh, why are we playing 3 games in 10, 11 days? Well, brother, you got home field and your team has got 3.5 weeks. Your starters have 3.5 weeks without having to play a game, brother. You'll take that 3 games in 10 days if it means your body has extra time to heal and recover. You're going to take that deal any day of the week. Don't tell me you wouldn't play 3 games in 10 days if it means you get to be as healthy as can be without bumps and bruises and knacks across your body from the time that the divisional round starts. But the main idea, the mocking in plain sight, Mahomes finishes the regular season. Let's assume he doesn't play the last game. Andy Reid is a smart guy. He trusts Carson. What was Carson Wentz? He wasn't there. No, he wasn't there. He was drafted after Andy Reid left the Eagles. Okay. But anyway, Carson Wentz is in there. You're just going to go in with the backups, looking to win with the backups. And there's certain guys out there that have contract incentives to have a big game. DeAndre Hopkins has a couple contract, I think it's like if he catches a touchdown, it gets like $500,000. There's another incentive. If he gets 8 or 9 more catches, he gets another bonus. So there's some guys on the Chiefs that get contract incentives by playing in the Week 18. DeAndre Hopkins is that one guy. Hollywood Brown needs the reps before the playoffs. So even if Patrick Mahomes doesn't play, these guys out there are still incentivized, whether it be fresh up to speed if you're Hollywood Brown, or whether it be your DeAndre Hopkins, you're looking to get a couple more checks by hitting those incentives marks in your contract. Kansas City and a very serviceable starter, Carson Wentz, going to do the business and eliminate the Broncos. And let's see what happens with the Bengals-Broncos game tomorrow. So the mocking's in plain sight. So 26 touchdowns for Mahomes. It's foreshadowing the 26 Chiefs win all time against Buffalo. And Mahomes with the 26 touchdown passes in the regular season, and Josh Allen with the 26-yard rushing touchdown to beat the Chiefs in Week 10. It's all scripted mocking in fashion. It's all going to result in the Chiefs, the Bills' 26th loss all time, regular season, postseason included, against Kansas City. And now, why in the Chiefs game that they clinched home field did the Steelers only have 10 points? Because the Chiefs are going to win their last remaining 10 games after their first loss in their 10th game of the season to result in 10 consecutive playoff wins to clinch the three-peat, with Mahomes being the 10th pick in the draft. In the Chiefs will beat the Lions for the 10th time in the series history. I think it's going to be Packers because the logo is red and green. Oh, my God. That's not the messaging that basically it's not telling you that the Packers are playing the Super Bowl. Basically, what the green on the Super Bowl logo represents is the fact that the last team to win the three-peat is the Packers, and they're the team with the light green. So that's really the message behind the green in the Super Bowl logo. The green just has to do with who was the last team to win a three-peat in the NFL. So in no way is that saying the Packers are going to play in the Super Bowl. It's just telling you that only one team has won the three-peat. That team in the light green is the Packers, and then the red background is basically telling you that the Kansas City Chiefs are next. So that's what the Super Bowl logo is about. It's not telling you that the Packers are going to play in the game. It's just telling you that the Kansas City Chiefs are basically going to be the next team to win a three-peat in the National Football League. I think Patrick Mahomes, 11 interceptions. I think this is the 11th Super Bowl that's going to be played at Louisiana. And the amount of time from the season opener on September the 5th to Mahomes' birthday is 12 days, and Tom Brady's number 12. He's calling the game in the booth. And the last Super Bowl at Louisiana was 12 years ago. You see all this stuff at Lamar's 39 touchdowns and 4 interceptions. That's just a psychological operation. He's going to get fucked over at the end of the day because the Maggots are going to win the Super Bowl. The team with the Maggot supporter, Brittany Mahomes, loves Donald Trump. I don't know if Patrick likes Trump. Basically, Patrick Mahomes, he got people to register to vote. And in no way has he voiced any political leanings. Patrick Mahomes. Red hat is Donald Trump, and of course, Chiefs are red. So, yep, Ravens are getting screwed over. I'm sorry, guys. Anyways, I think the Ravens are losing against the Bills. So Lamar is going down to Josh Allen again. Divisional round during the time of COVID, and now another divisional game. Lamar is going to lose again. Lamar Jackson, he's just he can't do in the postseason. He can't do in the postseason. Just some characters, it never changes. Tony Romo was just choker throughout his career. He never changed. Lamar Jackson in the playoffs is in the same boat. Prescott does well against garbage teams, and he doesn't do well against the rest of them. That character doesn't change. You know, Burrow getting his ring. I like Joe Burrow to upset Patrick Mahomes next year. One guy, the last guy to knock out the Chiefs in the AFC was the Bengals. It's got to be the Bengals again. Because the Bengals have been weakened. The Bengals got to get the full speed. The Bills keep on choking. So it's like the world has to wait until Joe Burrow and the Bengals get that defense fixed. So the choking Josh Allen, when he fails, Joe Cool is suddenly back in the equation. He's back in the playoffs, and he's the guy that can deliver and upset the Kansas City Chiefs. Josh Allen regular season, it's Freemasons. He's 3-3 at Arrowhead. 0-3 incoming in the playoffs, 3-0 regular season, mocking the fans in plain sight. Mocking these fans in plain sight. McDermott's gonna get fired. Somebody may get sacrificed. The sacrifice for Kansas City was Alex Smith. They weren't going to win anything until they got rid of Alex Smith. He was the sacrificial lamb. Good enough to make the playoffs, not good enough to win a championship. If you want to win the Super Bowl, you may have to get rid of Doug McDermott. Kansas City sacrificed the quarterback, Alex Smith, with the better one. Ditto Buffalo, except we're talking about the head coach. I'm telling you, if not this time around, after losing in 2020, he's going to do the business again. He's going to beat him this time. Oops. Oh, surely he can't lose 4 times against Mahomes in the playoffs. Oops. He may very well be losing 4 times against Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs. But again, 2 of the losses weren't his fault. The defense blew it. The ball went through Diggs' hands. So 2 of the losses weren't Josh Allen's fault. But what if it is Josh Allen's fault this time around? People be biased for the league MVP. They think, oh, the Chiefs have the refs. Surely the refs can't help the Kansas City Chiefs this time. The Bills will just win by 14. It doesn't come down to the referees. But anyway, if you ask me, the Bills' defense is not better than Kansas City's defense. Kansas City has a better defense than the Bills' defense. If you look at the metrics, the Chiefs are better. When you look at Buffalo allowing all them points to the Rams and to the Lions, the Chiefs have a better defense. This could be a beatdown. This could be a 10-point win for Kansas City. This magic number is 10. They're going to have a 10-point win in the playoffs. If this is not a close affair this time around, McDermott is going to be shown the door. He's going to get fired if the Chiefs end up winning by more than a possession. Just watch. He's going to get fired. They will not let this Buffalo team win until they move into the new Highmark Stadium. That Week 18 is pretty dope. Assuming the Broncos are about to choke, it just all depends on if Miami can take care of business against the Jets. Because they're not losing against Cleveland. It all depends. How will Miami do against the Jets? You have Aaron Rodgers. The stats are not bad. Anytime you have Aaron Rodgers, anytime you're dealing with a divisional rival, the only thing they be playing for in the last game of the season is to fuck someone's season over. And you know, what if they don't want Joe Burrow to lose in the playoffs? What if they be like, oh, miss the playoffs, make it back next year, win every game? The clutch Joe Cool is back. Oh, Tua got hurt, but he's in the playoffs. But then these Buffalo bastards end Tua's season. It all comes down to that last game of the season. The AFC wild card is going to come down to the Jets and the Dolphins. I think if you ask the average fan which game would I want to watch, it's Burrow against Allen. You hype up this Josh Allen if he beats Joe Burrow and he beats Lamar Jackson, and you start delegitimizing who Kansas City beats. Oh, you're not going to take the Chargers seriously because they beat the Raiders. They beat the Patriots. Oh, my God. They got destroyed by Baltimore. Money be over Buffalo. All the money is going to be on Buffalo in conference title week. I guarantee it. How about this? How about Saquon Barkley passes Eric Dickerson, all-time rushing yards? What if the Eagles go on to beat the Rams in the divisional round of the playoffs? Saquon Barkley passes Eric Dickerson, who played with the Rams, and the Eagles go up against the Rams. What if we see that? You never know. All depends on the final positioning in the table, obviously. How will Georgia fare without the quarterback? I still say Georgia's going to win. Hopefully Notre Dame wins, but I think Georgia wins. Ryan Day sucks. I don't care how good Ohio State is. The coach blew it against Michigan. He's not going to win. Texas has an easy opponent. Scatterboo's pretty good. But if you stop that one guy, if you stop Scatterboo, pretty much ASU has no chance as far as the quarterback position goes in dealing with a much better defense than anything they've seen in the Big 12. Whoever wins the Notre Dame-Georgia game has booked their ticket to the national championship game. Penn State is overrated. They had a cupcake schedule against Boise State and SMU. The winner of Notre Dame and Georgia on the easy side of the bracket is going to book their ticket to Georgia. The home team, Georgia, or Notre Dame? Notre Dame, I tell you, needs a new quarterback. They need a much better quarterback. Georgia still beat Texas without Beck. If they beat Texas without Beck, they'll be just fine against Notre Dame. I think Texas and Oregon, how consistent will Texas offense be against Oregon? You have to have some element of firepower against Oregon. If your Oregon cannot turn it over against Texas. I don't care anyone says right now. Oregon's right behind them, but Texas and Georgia are the best teams. I think Notre Dame needs a quarterback, but this is the most opportunistic moment in the easy side of this playoff bracket to make it to the national title game. If Notre Dame beats Georgia, this is their year. I tell you, it's their year. But first, they got to show me how they can do against Georgia. They played Georgia close during the Brian Kelly era. Different class of players have never played against Georgia before. How does the backup do for a full game in action? It's not going to be a very easy Notre Dame defense to go up against if you're Georgia. How can Notre Dame handle the running game in the third and the fourth quarters? How is the depth going to deal with Georgia in the third and the fourth quarters? Texas-Georgia, 3-match would be pretty dope. I don't think it's that complicated. Ryan Day is just not a big game coach. They're going to lose again. I trust Oregon. The NFC is pretty much all locked up already. If the Rams are in the playoffs when they beat the Cardinals and they get some other teams to win and finish ahead of Seattle due to the strength of victory, will they purposely lose against Seattle to get the better playoff matchup? That's one thing I ask. If the Rams have nothing to play for in Week 18, do they want to give the Seahawks a cheap victory and keep the mediocre Geno Smith for another season? Because they're not losing against Arizona. I don't care what anyone says. They're going to destroy the Cardinals. I'm still all for surprises. The Chiefs are going to win. That's the sure thing. Bengals will beat the Steelers. It all comes down to the Colts are just a terrible team to have in the playoffs. Who wants to watch a garbage Colts team against the Bills? The NFL will force the Colts to lose a game. If they beat the Giants, the Colts are losing to the Jags. It all depends on if the Dolphins take care of the Jets. The Bengals are going to need Miami to lose against the Jets. At the least, the Colts lose another game. At the least, the Broncos lose out. The only thing that is not so sure is who makes it in between Miami and Cincinnati. Well, the Commanders are going to win out. Yes. And I don't care if Jalen Hurts is out. They're still good enough to beat the Dallas Cowboys. Or the one thing is that the Cowboys have been playing very competitively, so this could be a trap game for the Eagles to need the last week of the season to clinch division. So I would not be surprised to see the Cowboys beat the Eagles and they finish against the Giants. Saquon breaks the rushing record against the Giants as the Eagles clinch the NFC East. But I will not be surprised to see the Cowboys beat the Eagles. But he is going to break the record. He is going to do so against the Giants. The Eagles clinch the division January the 5th. I'd probably go Cowboys over the Eagles this week. There's no way Tampa loses against the Panthers. That's another team. That's a whole fan base in Tampa. They're not watching Sunday Night Football if they lose against the Panthers. The Buccaneers are going to win. Everybody in Tampa is glued to the TV, rooting for Jaden Daniels to beat the Falcons, so the Bucs are in first place. Vikings will be going for a 10th straight win against the Lions in Week 18. There's no way the NFL is going to pass up on a Lions-Vikings Week 18 Sunday Night Football game to end the regular season. This may be the highest-rated final game of the regular season in NFL history. There is no way the NFL would pass up on the Vikings team looking to win the division against the Detroit Lions the last week of the season. Thank you for the donation, Swave. It is very evident that the script is in and the NFL is mocking the fans in plain sight. Lions finished 15-2. Patrick Mahomes is Gamache of 152. I don't know what 62 represents, but the Vikings are going to fall to 6-2 away at Detroit. I don't know how many 62s the Lions have. The Rams are going to rest the 38, 39-year-old Matthew Stafford. The Rams are going to beat the Cardinals this week. I find it hard to imagine the Giants beating the Colts, but anything is possible. I would not touch that game. It just all depends on when they want the Colts to lose, but it's probably going to come down to how they do. The NFL would want 47% passing completion. Anthony Richardson in the playoffs. That's just terrible for business. There's no way they're going to have the Colts in the playoffs. I have no reason to watch that game if you put this garbage Colts team in the playoffs. They will have 3 12-win teams because I think the Packers will probably win their last game in the regular season. Ravens clinched the division in the last week of the season. They play the Cleveland Clowns. So, of course, Ravens are playing at home. They're playing against the Steelers. Lamar beats the Steelers again. There's no way Pittsburgh will beat Lamar Jackson in the playoffs. Notice how Bills is Gamache of 18, and the Chiefs are going to win their 18th game of the season against the Bills in the AFC Championship game. So, it's not only about the 26, but of course, you're going to beat the Bills one win away from the three-peat. Script in plain sight. 16-1 Kansas City. They're going to beat the Bills in the AFC Championship game. I kind of still like Eagles against Lions, and people get suckered into the Saquon making history kind of deal. How's the Lion defense? All these injured players gonna handle Saquon and Jalen Hurts and all them guys. I'll still go Eagles in the NFC Championship game. Okay, Dolphins and Jets. Jets could finish 2-7 at home because it's Miami. That's 27. I think the Joe Burrow storyline he doesn't lose in the playoffs. It's kind of better for him if he misses the playoffs, but then he wins the Super Bowl the very next year. And if the Bengals end the year with 5 straight wins, even if they don't make the playoffs, they're just building momentum for the next season. And they're going to draft defense, and they're going to keep Trey Hendrickson, and Bengals could be a team to beat next year. How did he miss that field goal? Lincoln Riley's overpaid. He's overrated. He was lucky. Brian Kelly's even worse. Wow, he hooked that. This game is at Vegas, isn't it? That's indoors, man. How could you hook that like that? There's no weather. There's nothing like that. The Denver Donkeys are going to fall to 4-5 away from Denver because Chiefs are pursuing the three-peat. So yeah, in some nation with the AFC wild card, Miami is 27, and the Jets could fall to 2-7 if they lose against Miami. It'd be a comeback storyline for Tua to carry the Dolphins to the playoffs. So we might see Miami in there. If this is the year of the three-peat, the Chiefs get 3 wins against the Chargers in the divisional round. The Lions get 3 wins against a divisional rival, whether it be the Vikings or the Packers. And the Bills are going to pick up 3 wins against the Dolphins. The three-peat's the main narrative. The subscripts are these teams you see getting 3 wins against their division rivals in the playoffs. I think we could see 3 teams getting 3 wins against divisional rivals. That would be if Miami doesn't choke against the Jets. Yes, I do. I have Chiefs Lions in the Super Bowl. Yes, I do. Thank you for the donation. Thank you. Much appreciated. Thank you for supporting the work and really giving this a huge chance because, again, you can't make the same mistake that people have made in January in the last couple of years. You have to keep on riding the hot. And if Tom Brady's at New Orleans, he's going to be witnessing history. And again, when Patrick Mahomes does win the three-peat, he's 3 rings away from tying Tom Brady. He probably won't get to there. Everyone would love to see Tom Brady's reaction when the Chiefs win the Super Bowl, and that now there's a real chance that someone could top his record. But I think this is it. I think this is it for the Andy Reid era. He's going to have to dispel the notion that it wasn't all Andy Reid, that he can win without Andy Reid, or that he can win without Steve Spagnuolo. That's the next. That's the next chapter. That's the part 2. Getting done with part 1, the Andy Reid Spagnuolo era of dominance. Now it's about, can he do it without Andy Reid and Steve Spagnuolo? So that part's going to happen a little bit later down the road. But you can, if you hate the Chiefs, you can relax because after this Super Bowl, there's going to be like 4 or 5 years without the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. So get ready for that. There was an in between during Tom Brady's Super Bowl victories, 10 years apart from Super Bowl 39 to Super Bowl 49. And now, after the 10th consecutive playoff win, there will be a period in time where the Chiefs are going to go consecutive seasons, more than 2 seasons, more than 3 seasons without a Super Bowl victory, without appearing in the Super Bowl. He didn't appear in any Super Bowls in 10 years, Tom Brady. The same thing's going to happen to Patrick Mahomes. He's going to start losing against the AFC. They're going to start building up these rivalries, and Jim Harbaugh, he doesn't take that Chargers job if it's not scripted for him to win the Super Bowl down the line. The Chargers are one of the teams you have to look at. They're going to win a scripted Super Bowl. Definitely Cincinnati, definitely Buffalo. These are the teams you have to look at. Good night. There are 3 games on tomorrow. The Chargers going to clinch. The Rams going to get closer to officially clinching the NFC West, and the Bengals are going to keep things juicy for Week 18. So I think we should be 6-0. I think I should be 6-0. I think we should be 6-0 this week. I'd be very if it really comes down to suspense, then the Bengals are going to win the game at home.